Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or existing weight loss practice. I'm your host, Carol Clark, and today we're talking a bit about vulnerability because vulnerability is actually something that many of us, myself included, avoid. But it can really serve you well in your practice. And this is whether you are a surgeon or the physician, or if you're a leader in your practice, or anyone at any level in your practice. Vulnerability can actually be a good thing. And I get to work with a wide variety of medical weight loss practices, surgical weight loss practices, health systems, and I enjoy every minute. And one of the things that I found is those that are the most successful have a sense of vulnerability. And I love it all. What I mean by that is that they are actually willing to admit when I don't know what I don't know, and I could use some help in here, and I'm interested in, and I want to learn more. I want to excel. So when people become vulnerable and admit that there are some issues going on in their practice or there's things that need to be addressed, that's when you open yourself up to opportunity to make that so much better and to learn about ways to improve that. So I oftentimes used to think, as the leader in our practice or many practices that I've managed, or even when I was a hospital administrator, I felt like I had to have all the answers. And it can be exhausting because you're constantly searching for answers. And that is important, being resourceful, being resilient, being inquisitive, finding all that. But sometimes just admitting, I'm not really sure, I don't really know, opens you up to so many possibilities with your team who may have some really great ideas, or to additional education that you may want or desire, or to new tools or resources that are available that can help simplify the life of yourself or your team and also improve patient care. So I get to work with people who actually, the ones that tend to make the biggest transformation from a practice perspective are those that identify that yes, there are things that need to be addressed, and yes, I don't have all the answers and I'm a little bit vulnerable here, but I am willing to make change. I'm willing to ask for help, and I'm willing to involve my team and make a difference here. So that's when I see the most growth. And a few recent examples. I have worked with various practices that have focused mainly on sales. So they may have gross revenues coming in that are great, but their profitability day to day is not good and it's very stressful. And that happens. And a lot of times it's related to either you're offering too many things, you may have too many expenses, you might have perhaps a few too many team members. There's lots of different things that play into that, but we take a look at it and then we look at making sure that we do have good cash flow and that there is profitability at the end of the day, not just gross revenues. So we've done that. I've had other practitioners who have been frustrated and they've taken a leap of faith and they're totally starting over and starting a new practice. And I get to help them set it up from the ground up, which is really exciting. And they kind of just say, Carol, I don't know what I don't know. And I pull together whatever resources that they need, and we work together to make sure that their vision comes to fruition. So that's another example. Other ones, there may be a health system that is well established, but they're adding a new service line related to weight loss, whether it's surgical or medical or both. And that is a very exciting project for me as well. And we work together and we maximize the resources that they have. We look at other resources that they may need. We put together a process and a plan and then go to it. So that's another example of someone who's admitting vulnerability and the fact that I might need some help to advance. The other thing is practices who may be paying a fortune in marketing and it's going nowhere. Their cost per lead is going up, and a lot of times it can just be messaging. It could be lots of different factors that maybe they're attracting the wrong clientele, people who aren't really ready to make that change or make a commitment to a weight loss program. And then the other big thing that I see is sometimes, and I do this all the time, I can be the queen of complication. We complicate things and we put in so many different rules or regulations in our practice, or we make a process so complicated when really it could just be simplified into something much easier. It could be your intake process for your team members. It could be how you're hiring. It could be how you intake your patients. We've met with a health system that was making a really complicated method for taking the patient from initial contact through to surgery. And a lot of it created barriers for the patient. So a lot of times we can take things and make it super complicated when it doesn't have to be. But the bottom line is, I have to remind myself a lot. I'm vulnerable. I obviously don't know everything. Nobody does. But always being open and to learn and to brainstorm together and involve your team and figure it out is something that is, I find, really exciting, and I love doing it in my own business, in the practice that I manage here for my husband, and of course we've got a great team there. They kind of manage it, but anyhow, and with any practice or health system that I get to work with. So getting vulnerable can be uncomfortable, but it can be a good thing. So I encourage you to do that. So that's how change occurs. And it's uncomfortable, but it's something that ends up being a great thing in the end. So anyhow, I hope this podcast has served you well. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you're not a member of Bariatric Business Accelerator, I encourage you to check it out at bariatricbusinessaccelerator.com. Free resources are also available for you at weightlosspracticebuilder.com/free. And until we talk again, I hope you have a great day. Thanks.